he was going to be on vacation this week anyway, so he wasn't going to be here no matter what. But then he fell, so he couldn't even go on vacation. Poor guy. And I asked him, "You mind if I tell the rest of the council?" I didn't want to just. He said, "Yeah, go ahead." So that's when I sent y'all the email.
He was on the job.
But it didn't sound too good.
Was Ricky jumping over a fence to get away from a mean dog?
He might have been. If he
We
did,
don't
he
know
didn't say
how.
so. I think he was at the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, poor guy. He didn't sound too good. He sounded. He was going to be on vacation this week anyway, so he wasn't going to be here regardless.
Yeah.
But now, for a different reason.
Hello, Lisa.
And Grant's on vacation with his family this week. Yeah.
All right, I call this meeting of the Sweetwater City Council to order. Thank you all for being here this morning. I ask Jared House with St. Stephen's Episcopal Church to do the invocation, and Commissioner Peake's going to lead us in the pledges.
Let us pray. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, send down upon those who hold office in the city the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve their offices to promote the well-being of all people. Teach our people to rely on your strength, to accept their responsibilities to their fellow citizens, that they may elect trustworthy leaders and make wise decisions for the well-being of our society, that we may serve you faithfully in our generation and honor your holy name. For yours is the kingdom, Lord. You are exalted head of the Lord.
Please join me in the pledge to our nation and our state's flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, we'll now move to item 4, which is discuss, consider, and act upon approval of minutes for the meeting held on June the 11th.
Move that be approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now move to item 5A, which is discuss, consider, and act upon approval of the quarterly investment report for the quarter ending June 30th, 2019.
Move it be approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now move to item 5B, which is discuss, consider, and act upon entering into an agreement with Tommy Morris Agency to represent city as broker of record and to evaluate competitive sealed proposals.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now move to item 5C, which is discuss,
Hang on now, Nancy.
The meeting that we need to put into the notice is that August 13th.
I believe that
Is that correct, Lisa?
Yes, ma'am.
August 13th.
Tuesday, August 13th. Yes, ma'am.
Where am I at?
See?
We'll now move to item 5C, which is discuss, consider, and act upon authorizing staff to receive competitive sealed proposals on self-insured health group dental life insurance benefits to be considered at August 13, 2019 meeting.
Move we authorize staff to receive these proposals.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll now move to item 5D, which is discuss, consider, and act upon a resolution approving West Central Texas Council of Government Hazard Mitigation Plan update. Mr. J.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Jay Hardaway. I'm with H2O Partners, and we are assisting West Central Texas Council of Governments with this round of hazard mitigation planning. If you guys recall, I came and spoke a few months ago to sort of explain the process and let you guys know that your city staff had already reviewed the plan, and Mayor McKenzie probably dreams of the day where he doesn't have to hear about it, because in addition to coming here, he has to hear this at every council of government's executive board meeting too. So I really appreciate all the work that's gone into this process from the city of Sweetwater, and happy to give any kind of update or answer any questions you guys have. So far, it's been formally adopted by Nolan County, and then we've got 3 cities within that need to formally adopt. And this is a requirement that every 5 years you sort of start from scratch, even though a lot doesn't change over a 5-year period, especially when it comes to types of weather hazards. There's still, you kind of offer a bunch of input, and it's reviewed by everybody. It's approved by the state and FEMA. That has happened, and now it's time to be formally adopted by all the entities within the COG. And happy to answer any additional questions.
I move we adopt the plan for West Central Texas Council of Governments Hazard Mitigation Plan update.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Approved. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jay.
Now read the resolution into the record. A resolution for the city of Sweetwater approval of West Central Texas Council of Governments Hazard Mitigation Plan update. We now move to item 5E, which is discuss, consider, and act upon approval of a resolution authorizing the city manager to undertake efforts to support the U.S. Census 2020.
Move adoption of the resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now read the resolution into the record. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Sweetwater, Texas, authorizing the city manager to undertake efforts to support the U.S. Census 2020. Now move to item 5F, which is discuss, consider, and act upon approving an ordinance to temporarily increase the number of positions in the Sweetwater Fire Department by 1 firefighter EMT. Any questions of Lisa?
I move we adopt the ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Now read the ordinance into the record. An ordinance establishing a classification number of positions for the fire and police department pursuant to chapter 143 of the Texas Local Government Code, increasing the number of firefighter positions by 1, providing a servability clause, finding and determining that the meeting at which the ordinance is passed were open to the public as required by law, and providing for an effective date. We'll now move to item 5G, which is discuss, consider, and act upon approving an ordinance to amend Chapter 21, Nuisance, Article 1 in general, and Article 2, Weed Vegetation, section of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Sweetwater, Texas. Dane.
This is as you stated, an amendment to Chapter 21. It's our nuisances chapter, and there's a couple articles in there that we're asking for you to consider amending. Mainly, we've had some issues. I've been here for a number of months, been listening to staff, and we have certain areas in our street right-of-way and in our alleys that accumulate with excessive weeds, placement of debris, and other types of things that makes it difficult sometimes to see around corners if it's in the street right-of-way, or actually traversing, getting trash trucks or other utility trucks through alleys. It's just become more congested with weeds, debris, and so forth. So what we're asking you to consider is a modification to Chapter 21. In particular, Article 1, we're adding a section called Maintenance of Abutting Property. And what that means is that the property owner and the tenant has a responsibility to mow or remove any debris or other unsightly matter that accumulates in the street right-of-way. And the street right-of-way, further defined in here, is where the property line is all the way to the curb. Most property owners mow that, but some don't. And there's always a question about, well, that's city property, why am I maintaining it? So we wanted to make it very clear in the ordinance that it is a responsibility on the property owner to do that. And in the alleyway, we're defining that area of responsibility from the property line to the center line of the alley. The reason we went to the center line of the alley is some of our alleys are not paved, and so we get some vegetation and weed growth and other things placed right to the center of the alley. And typically, there's a property owner on each side that'll have responsibility for half that alley, as it would relate to weeds and other debris that's placed there. That's really what the change is. So there's 3 modifications to Chapter 21. One in Article 1, which adds the maintenance of budding property, and then the other 2 sections really just identify the area of responsibilities I just explained for the street right-of-way and the alley. It just makes it more clear. We're adding some specificity to our ordinance, so there's no question. And long-term, we're thinking then that the alleys will become a little bit cleaner, a little bit more manageable for utility trucks and other vehicles that have a right to do work in that alleyway. And then in the streets, we can eliminate sight distance issues around our corners in some cases. So that's the basis for the changes for your consideration today.
Is there a penalty with non-compliance?
There is. Normally we have 2. We can actually go ahead. If it's a vacant property, we can take care of it ourselves, and we can place a lien on the property to do so. The other is we could issue a citation. That tends to be the last resort. We would hope that the property owner would take care of it, but we would have the ability to issue a citation if it was if they didn't take care of that.
Can we address phone books being thrown in vacant yards and circulars being thrown in vacant yards that people run over with lawnmowers and scatter newspaper everywhere?
That's a great question. I believe that there are other cities that have addressed that. I think municipalities have the ability to place in ordinances certain things that would prohibit things like that. But I think that that's probably something that we would, if you'd like for us to research, we can research to see how other communities have handled that to help tidy up our community in that regard as well.
I appreciate it.
I move adoption of the ordinance containing these amendments.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Carried. We'll now read the ordinance into the record. Amending Chapter 21, Article 1 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Sweetwater entitled in general to amend Section 21.3 entitled Prohibited by adding paragraphs Section 21.3 Maintenance of abundant properties, amending Chapter 21, Article 2 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Sweetwater entitled Weed Vegetation to amend Section 21.23 entitled Maximum Growth by amending Section 21.23 to amend Section 21.28 entitled Contents of Notice by amending Section 21.28. We'll now move to item 5H, which is discuss, consider, and act upon approval of resolution to amend central rate schedule for the various permit fees charged by the City of Sweetwater, Texas.
I move we approve the resolution to amend the central rate schedule.
I will second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
Aye.
Approved.
I didn't know he was going to talk about it.
If y'all have any questions on the resolution we just adopted, we can bring Dana back up, and he's glad to answer those. No? Okay, thank you.
Confirming, I'll now read the resolution in the record, confirming and ratifying the central rate schedule for the various fees, license permits, and rate charges by the City of Sweetwater, Texas for the fiscal year 2019, adopting such central rate schedule. We'll now move to item 5I, which is discuss, consider, and act upon authorizing staff to receive competitive sealed proposals for a 2-year bank depository agreement for the City of Sweetwater, Texas.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. City Manager's report.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that, Mayor, Council. What I'm gonna do on this landing zone class is turn it over to Chief Madden so he can explain to us the details of what that's all about, and then I'll take on the last two items. So Chief, if you can let us know what's going on.
We've been asked by numerous people. We try and put on a landing zone class every couple of years. It's just so the local volunteers and other groups can learn how to land a helicopter safely should we need it. We do a lot of helicopter operations occasionally, with the interstate, the traffic, things like that. They've come and graciously agreed to put on the class for us. It's at no cost to the city whatsoever. And then on top of that, they'll be feeding whoever attends. I think they're bringing hot dogs and chips and snacks and things like that. Going to be cooking it there at the station. The helicopter is supposed to land on the street in front of the station, and they'd really like to show off their new aircraft. They got a new one that'll no longer is weight an issue. It's more girth as far as just fitting in the helicopter. So we're able to fly a lot more patients that normally wouldn't have been able to fly. And it's a good community event. The community's welcome to come out, enjoy, join us, tour the station, see what we've got going on, look at the helicopter. It's going to be there, talk to the flight crew, the pilot. They all love sharing what they get to do. And should be a good event. It's this Thursday at 6:30 at the station.
Very good. Thank you, sir. And the seal coating project, we had a monsoon, I guess you could call it, come in through last night, which we're grateful for the rain, no doubt about that any time. But that's going to put off our seal coat project for just a little bit. We need it to be dry out there for the crews to do their work. And so I'll have more specific dates and times where, as soon as we can, within the next couple of days, as the conditions permit, get out there and do our annual seal coating project. Russell would typically be here, but he's not. I excused him from this meeting in order to deal with that seal coating project and try to get that going as soon as we can. And we'll, Joseph, I'll let you know once we're out there so you can help us spread the word. We'd appreciate that. And on the water project update, the pressure relief valves are in the ground, right, Eddie? This Thursday, the SCADA and electrical will be taken care of as well. And we'll have the 3 contractors in next week so they can all do their part. And we're very close to getting and completing that portion of the distribution system and get everything back online. We'll be seeing that 1931 tower come down hopefully by the end of the summer. 2019, not 2020 or anything like that. 2019 summer, and so we're all looking forward to that, and we'll let everybody know when that completion date is getting a little closer. But we're making good progress, Eddie. Thank you and your crews for everything you've done and overseeing that. That's been very helpful for us. And one thing that's not on the agenda that I wanted to kind of point out this morning, today is my sweet mother's 67th birthday, so what I'll do is send her a copy of this video later, and I just want to take this time to say that love you, Mom, and happy 67th birthday. Sorry we couldn't be together today, but all the way from Sweetwater, Texas, happy birthday. So I appreciate it very much. Thank you for allowing me that, sir. I appreciate it. And that's all I had, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Public input. Anybody want to make the motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's go home.
Jay.
Thank y'all all.